Tonight, we want to say thanks to the folks that put on the Three Rivers Comic-Con. John, Todd, all the folks from New Dimension Comics. They were a sponsor of the show leading up to the con. And I'm telling you, what a great time. And once again this year, I was able to finish off my Christmas shopping at the con. So while all you other people are running around in the fall, I will kick back, relax, and watch sports on TV. It'll be that nice. Here's a little recap of all the things you saw, or if you're one of the unlucky ones, all the things you missed. Just a few short, fresh memories of the Three Rivers Comic-Con. A good time was had by all. And speaking of good times, cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And before we begin this evening's festivities, take a look at this. This is the brand new design of the official Rex Reel Grillin' Apron. Now remember last grillin' season, we had the black one with the one big logo in it. That was gangbusters, and we sold out of those. So we got a brand new design here. How do you like that, huh? Red with all these logos floating around. Hey, look, everybody knows you're king of the grill. Now look the part too, with the official Rex Reel Grillin' Apron. Currently on sale, 25% off at the official Rex Reel store. Here's the URL for you. Stop by, check it out today. Hey, to make good gifts too, for anybody who likes to grill. There's something very odd going on at a remote convent in Scotland. A priest dies there under very mysterious conditions. And his sister, who kind of ironically is named Grace and is played by Jenna Malone, heads to Mount Savior Convent to seek answers. There, she finds a rogue sect within the church, and it has kind of a dysfunctional belief system in operation. Now, with a background in science and really kind of a disdain for all things religious, Grace bullies her way into this convent, into the institution, only to discover that her brother's suicide may actually have been a murder. A representative from the Vatican comes along to kind of quelch everything. He's played by Danny Houston. But, folks, sometimes some things cannot remain hidden. Grace will discover, despite her faith in science, that she is actually part of a rather godly plan. Here now is a look at consecration.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I'm here from the Vatican because of my brother's death. I've come to bring transparency to this tragedy.
Before he fell into darkness, he was much loved by everyone.
Fell into darkness. You saw my brother kill himself.
The eyes of God are on us all.
This was the ultimate confessional. The nuns, they stand here, and for every sin committed, they take a step back. The more steps they took,
They fell to their death.
God caught them.
We live a disciplined life here. Contained, cleansed, purified.
Peekaboo. Where are my clothes?
Mother says we must first remove the filth from them.
You're a woman of science. What is it you seek?
My brother was badly hurt before he fell. I think he discovered something that he was afraid of.
You need help, child. Something for you.
You came in search of truth.
I come here when I have dark thoughts. I think I might be a really bad person. Peekaboo!
They're all lying.
What is it that you think you know?
Don't be scared. There's but one God.
Peekaboo.
Did the Koreans just out John Wick Keanu Reeves? We'll find out when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. Say, for the last couple of weeks, we've been telling you that changes are coming to the House of Fairuza Barbershop. And Sam has just unveiled one of those changes, a new service that they're going to call the Groomsman Package. Now, it's called Groomsman because basically, guys who are in a wedding, they get the groomsmen together and you do something like this for your groomsmen. But actually, it's a service that is provided for any group of guys. That has to be at least 5 of you, and it's a pretty nice package. Now, here's a quick rundown. You can select up to 3 different levels of service, and the categories are all listed for you. And then when you show up at the barbershop, you get complimentary beverages, you get full access to the pool table, and then you get a personalized grooming kit for each member of the party. Then you sit down in the chair and you just let yourself go as Sam and his crew take really good. I've had some of these things, the facial massage and whatever. It's really some good stuff. To prepare for this, you're going to have to call and make a reservation, so they can only take the reservations by phone, and you should give them about 2 months to set everything up. But it sounds like a great package, especially if you're doing something, with a group of guys, or if you're getting married and you want to do something special for your groomsmen. It's a great package. Call Sam, he'll tell you all about it at the House of Fairuza Barbershop. They're located at the corner of South Park Road and Drake Road. You want to like it. Welcome back to the show. Okay, everybody, you know the words, so come along and sing with me now. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, off to Never, Never Land, and then do the air guitar thing, right? Sandman has a lot of different visages, if you will, entities, all the way from a childhood sleep aid to even a superhero, believe it or not. This version, however, has its roots in a blind boy. Now, the blind boy is brutally killed by a couple of school bullies who prize his glass eyes. He's left in the forest to die, but instead he melds with the tree and the surrounding ground, creating a spirit who is vengeful against those who commit wrongs. How's that for a tale? Into this haunted forest containing the Sandman's tree comes Anna. Anna is played by Whitney Peak. Until this film, Whitney has pretty much filled most of her roles with, for lack of a better term, girly roles, if you will. This may place her on a totally different path because she's going straight from this horror movie, which, by the by, is called An Eye for an Eye. And next, she will star in an action film opposite Dave Bautista. It's called Trap House. So in any event, back to our tale. Anna comes to live with her grandmother in Florida after her parents are killed in a car accident. Grandma is already familiar with the Sandman. He took her eyes some time ago because of her misdeeds. Epatha Mickelson of Chicago Med fame plays Grandma. Now Anna, new in town, quickly makes friends with the town's bad kids. That's Sean and Julia. And it's not too long before the trio pranks a little neighborhood kid and the Sandman tags them for justice. The Sandman is played by Ben Bladen, and costume in this is first rate. Know what we should do now? We should peel back the veils of time and head back to the early Cretaceous period. Check in with the nation's first and only prehistoric film critic, Rex Rio.
Eye for an Eye is written by Alicia Victoria, adapted from her book Mr. Sandman. It is shot by Robert Litzel, who is at his best capturing the haunted tree and the dream sequences of the Sandman's victims. James Vanderwater trims the movie nicely, and the entire cast and crew come under the direction of Colin Tilley, who admits he often witnessed bullying when he was younger, but was too meek to stop it. This is his directorial debut. Eye for an Eye is shot in Savannah, which substitutes as Florida. It is a decent horror film with a strong cast.
Remember, you're dreaming. Remember, you're dreaming.
I'm from Brooklyn. Both my parents died in a car accident. I'm living with my grandma now. What happened to her eyes?
Sandman is what happened to your grandma.
Sandman?
May was mean, callous, wanted everything her way. One night she woke up and there he was. He punishes those who do bad. There's a tree in the woods. You'll know it when you see it. Writing the names of the people that have done you wrong. And justice will take its course.
Have you been having nightmares?
Yeah.
You can't escape if you're sleeping.
As he has done, it shall be done to him. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Remember, you're dreaming. Remember, you're dreaming.
Hello? My name was carved into that tree.
Remember, you're dreaming.
Okay, I gave you a little tease before the break, and just what are the Koreans up to? You know, they killed off John Wick and John Wick 4, so he's dead. But they're trying to keep the legacy a little bit alive. They did this with Ballerina. You can check my review online for that. And they brought back Ana de Armas to kind of revive, if you will, the John Wick legacy. The Koreans came out and said, forget all this feminist BS stuff. They brought in So Ji-sub as Nam Ji-eun. Now, Nam is the equivalent of the Baba Yaga for the Korean mob. It's an outfit called the Square. When he is injured, he is allowed to leave the organization with a promise that he never returns. And that's a promise that he keeps for 11 years. And then someone kills his brother. And that won't stand. What follows is a 7-episode roller coaster ride, which is currently showing on Netflix. Now, I've told you before when I do reviews on Korean action films, the Koreans love blades. Everybody over there carries a blade, and they're not really all that big on guns, so very rarely do you see a gunfight. So there's a lot of knife action in this series. And the series is based on a webtoon called Plaza Wars. So those of you that follow that stuff will know where the story comes from. It has, in the 7 episodes, more plot twists than a bag of Twizzlers. There's some brutal fights, and just like the John Wick universe, Nam takes a beating, but he simply will not be stopped. This is an awful lot of fun, and it's really a lot more believable than the action in Ballerina. You know, when I get a series, I'm usually good for like an episode a day, and I'm happy with that. This one is there's 7 episodes in this, and this one is so much fun. I polished this off in half the time, in like a half a week. I was over and done with it. It's fun. It's good. Here's a look.
남전무 친형님이시다. 인사드려.
내 동생 누가 너한테 시켰냐고 묻는 거야. 먼저 네 친구들을 찾아갈 거야. 그 다음은 네 가족 차례고.
누구든지 일을 저질렀으면 대가를 치러야 해.
남기준. 아유, 추억의 이름이네요.
저번에 말씀하셨죠. 어디에 설 건지 증명하라고. 제 답입니다.
그쪽 친구분들이요. 다 당신 때문에 죽은 거예요.
왜 이렇게까지 하는 거예요?
나 때문에 시작됐으니까.
We have another film that mixes demons and spirituality with a strong religious base. When Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. Say, for the last couple of weeks, I've been telling you about Gabriel Mastracci and how he can brand, rebrand, or develop your product or service. Well, he went and did it for himself. You know, those of you that have been following Outtakes with Rex Reel on the Facebook page, you've seen these photos that I've put up with Gabriel doing pictures kind of in a kid's fashion, if you will, of dinosaurs and various prehistoric beasts. Well, they've been collected now into a coloring book. This thing is hours of fun. It's meant for kids, but even if you're an adult, you can have a lot of fun with this one. Here's how you get it. Yeah, we're going through the Bezos on this one. And it's some 40-some pages or other of 20-some dinosaurs in there that you can have a blast with, coloring with your kids or, you know, give them the coloring book and the crayons, and you get a couple hours of peace, whichever way you want to look at it. Great book. Be sure to check it out. Gabe will appreciate it, and so will we here at the show. Welcome back to the show. Hey, let me, a little bit of a gap there. Before we took our last break, I was telling you about the Korean action series. I forgot to mention the name of it is Mercy for None. So when you go on to the streamer, if you're looking for it, it's called Mercy for None. Awful lot of fun. Okay, let's get back to the review, shall we? Yeah, films from Indonesia always seem to mix horror with, I want to say fantasy, but it's really based, I think, more on their religious beliefs. And it's those deep religious beliefs they have that lends itself to this duality in the film. You know, it wasn't too long ago that I did a review on a movie called Inhuman Kiss 2, The Last Breath. And that was all about demons and spirits and how they interact with the real world. And this movie is similar to it, okay? The movie is called Soul Reaper, but it's known in Indonesia as Respati. Now, the book that it comes from, that's the name of the book as well, Respati. We have a witch. The witch is named Sukma. And there's a dream world where combatants who are in the dream world, if they are savvy enough, can actually act like superheroes. Respati is played by Davano Dadendra. He suffers from insomnia, but when he does manage to close his eyes, he can enter a dream world, and that's where the witch wants to destroy everyone who has a bloodline going back to Respati's village. Now, Sukma, the witch, is played by Ratu Felicia. She is accused of murdering her patients. She was a nurse working at a hospital, but she had, dabblings in the black arts and needed to conduct experiments and sometimes even body parts, so patients were handy and she utilized them. She's caught and she's forced into a rather torturous death by the villagers, all the while her ward watches. She curses the village, the villagers, and its founders. Now, let's jump ahead to Respati. He notices that mysterious deaths in his new community are occurring and realizes that Sukma is responsible. He opts to battle her in the dream world, where she pretty much rules. Helping him are Wulan, who is played by Keisha Lavronka, and she is pretty well versed in the myths and legends of the dream world, and Turta, who is played by Micah Hernan, who wishes to avoid the supernatural all that he can, but he is kind of a computer whiz, and therefore he can use the interwebs to collate and devise a plan for battle in the dream world. You know, to tell you more about this movie, we need to go back in time once more to the early Cretaceous period and check in with the nation's first and only prehistoric film critic. Here's Rex Reel.
Director Siddhartha Tata presents two competing worlds with characters bridging the gap between them. He is assisted by director of photography Bangos Tresna Aji, who utilizes two separate color palettes, a subdued reality for the normal world and a washed-out blue-gray filtered world for the dream state. Like most Indonesian films, Soul Reaper is too long, though editor Ahmad Angoro manages to contain it to under 2 hours. The film's climax features major confrontations in both worlds, and Ahmed nicely bounces between the two realms, intercutting the battle actions. Quite entertaining to watch.
Respati's hero arc, as he discovers his powers in the dream world, follow a shortened Homeric pattern. Sukma appears as a sultry temptress in the real world, but she shows her true visage in the dream world, where she's kind of like a very big Tasmanian doll from Trilogy of Terror, kind of like that, big teeth and everything. It's refreshing to see a movie that is a horror movie, but when the kids go to the police and the authorities and start talking about spirits and demons and dream worlds, the police and the authorities are all okay with those tales because they believe as well. That doesn't happen in American films anymore. American films have lost that connection to any type of religion that deals with demons and spirit. The only religion you can do in an American film now is the woke religion. That's the only one that they accept. Here now is a look at Respati, Soul Reaper.
Gimana insomnia mo?
Yang kamu ini ngedikan kalau kamu masih sering kebangun setiap malam ya?
Ada yang nggak biasa dari kamu?
Kamu bisa lihat apa yang aku lihat.
Kalau mimpi itu bisa jadi tempat yang berbahaya kalau nggak hati-hati.
Tiba no kowe sing tak goleki.
Kenapa aku ya?
Wong kowe sing bisa ngasalke wong kuwi.
Saiki kowe sing mati. Apa aku sing mati? Reneo Jabakus.
Well, it appears, knock on wood, that we shoved aside all that rain and sky water that was falling, and the hot days of summer are fast coming upon us. And that means we're going to be taking a lot of time off, sand, sun, and surf, if you will. So the shows may lessen a little bit. Be sure you stay online, because even from the beach, I can take out the old phone and go online and keep you abreast on what's shaking down. So that's about it for tonight. We've got to wrap up. And now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.